I always get super excited at the end of a school year because I start thinking about next year and what we're going to be doing. So what am I going to be doing with my second, third grader next year? Okay, so I found this curriculum this year off of Instagram, I believe. And guys, this is really, really cool. For history, social studies, everything we're gonna do, it's by the Peaceful Press. It's called Playful Pioneers. I discovered this off of Instagram this year and it looks super, super fun. It also comes with a cookbook. So all the lessons that include a recipe are included here in the cookbook, and I got it printed out, but there's an example for you. But the premise of this curriculum is it's for early elementary age, and they said you could do it for as young as preschool to as old as about third, fourth, fifth grade if you really wanted to. So I think they've included reading in here for up to middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. But I think my 7, 8-year-old and my other children are just at the right age for this. And I was gonna follow a cycle where we did like ancient history, then Middle Age history, and then US history, and then we start all over again, you know, etc., etc. I saw this and I thought, my kids are 8 years old and younger. This is the time that I need to do the fun stuff. Like, this is, I think, my last chance, you know, like once she gets into 4th grade, we probably should start be doing less, I don't know, not, it should all be fun, I think, you know, but you know what I mean, like more of a structure, a little more of a full, harder work, structure, heavier reading. But anyway, I decided I think this would be fun for our whole year. So I'm thankful that I found this. And you're basically reading through the Laura Ingalls Wilder series. I've read this one as a kid and I loved it, probably one of my favorite books of all time. And then you do, or not, that one's the 3rd book, I guess, but Little House in the Big Woods. This one's the later book. I haven't read this one yet. Farmer Boy also. But you're reading through the Pioneer series, and you are studying, you know, early American history at the same time while you're reading these as your read-alouds. Well, let me show you how some of this works. I liked how they included the master book list. So we have all the books here that we're going to be reading from the Laura Ingalls Wilder series. And then it has each week the other books that are recommended to go along with it. So you can be going to your library. There is also other books recommended that go along with early American history. See, this is for the K through 3rd graders here. So we'll be doing lots of reading that go along with this, and that will cover our history section. And then each week has its own grid here, and then each day has its own lesson plan. But this includes our Bible lesson, and then you have your language arts lesson. It tells you what you read out of the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. And then it has your science and history part. You pick your own math. You pick your own phonics, handwriting, and spelling. And then it has art and practical skills. That's where the cooking comes in. And this is all the stuff that my kids love to do. They love art. They love cooking. They love science, practical geography things here too. So I fell in love with this when I saw it, and I thought this would be perfect for our kids. Also, what is included for a Bible for this curriculum was the book Theology. And I saw this book last year and I thought it looked incredible, and I'm so excited to use it. I found this off of Amazon. Like, you're talking about theology, basically, in the terms that the children can understand. Things like the theology of God, like who God is and where he is and his character there. Theology of people, who we are, theology of sin. You basically you have a cute picture here that describes what you're talking about. You have this short section here that you can read. You can do one a day, or, you know, do 1 or 2 a week and just focus on going a little bit slower. So you read through this small section here, and then it has a scripture verse that goes with it, and you can make that one of your memory verses make it your memory verse for the week. So I love these simple illustrations in here and the topics that this book talks about. So I'm really excited to do this for our Bible study this year. Next, to go along with that, is science. And there is some science included in here, but I wanted a little bit more because my kids love studying nature and everything. So I found this on Simply Charlotte Mason. I love doing Charlotte Mason style studies, and I was so excited for this. It's 106 days of creation studies. You're going to go through, this is so good, guys. They said that you can do 2 to 3 lessons a week and finish in a whole year. You can go at your own pace. They said you could do 1 a day if you want and finish quicker, or you could even do just a few a week and finish the book when you finish it. But it's going through each of the days of creation and then having studies that go along with each of those days. So there's creation overview, that's first, and then there's creation day 1, and then you're studying light and shadows and reflections and color. Then there's creation day 2, atmosphere, water cycle, weather, and then 3, land, rocks, gems, etc., etc. So what I liked about this is they've created it for elementary age, kindergarten through 6th grade, and these are adaptable for the young kids, and they're adaptable for older kids as well, and you can do it with your children all together. And I like how it includes biblical things in here as well, and then and it has hands-on activities. Here in the notes, it tells you to remind you what books to get at the library to go along with these lessons. So what I think about science for the young children's age, they do not, and according to Charlotte Mason method, they do not need to go super in depth until they are older. At a younger age, it's mostly just nature study, being outside, them exploring and learning about things just hands-on and by watching and reading and using living books and all that. So what I liked about this was, instead of me just going all willy-nilly like, oh, today, I don't know, let's watch a video on flowers, and then tomorrow let's go study the grass. Like, I wanted some structure to my madness, basically, because I can get really unstructured if I'm not careful, naturally unstructured. But I also like structure. I like flexibility within structure. I guess if you're like that, you kind of get me, right? So flexibility within structure, and I feel like that's what this gives me. We're studying lots of different types of things, but there's a structure to it. There's a do this, then do this, then do that. So that helps me kind of stay on track and make sure the kids are getting study of just lots of different things in nature, using the living books and the hands-on experiments and reading the Bible together as well. So I highly recommend this, and I'm super excited for it. So one other thing I'm super excited about, I discovered this year, I keep stumbling across these amazing books, and I feel like I don't have all the time in the world to be able to cover all this, but I thought I would include it this next year for the school year. I found this, America's Story #1, and this is by Angela Odell, and she has published this with Master Books. They also do a math curriculum that I found I'll show you in a minute, but again, it's fairly Charlotte Mason style, where it is told through a story, and it's more living book instead of textbook. Like, even though this technically is a textbook, it's written in story styles, but it includes many really nice pictures here, and they're brief, short lessons. So you read a page and a half per lesson, and it's going to be birth of the country, so early Native American, ancient U.S. history, all the way through, I think it's 1880 is what it is. So it's right before the Civil War, or 1860, I believe. So I want to include this somehow with the Playful Pioneers, and I'm not sure if I'm going to supplement Playful Pioneers with this, or if I will start this after I finish Playful Pioneers, or if I'm going to kind of do back and forth, like we'll do 2 months of Playful Pioneers, and then we'll do a month of this, and then we'll do 2 months Playful Pioneers, and then we'll do a month of this. Anyway, I like switching it up, give it some variety, and we cover lots of fun things. So we will probably do lat books and notebooking along with this. And I found some interesting things on Pinterest that will go along. So I love American history, guys. Like, I'm so excited. I would just go through this book and do all the crafts by myself if even if I didn't have kids. I just think it would be really fun. Okay, last but not least, math. And I'm going to ask for your guys' help on this. Do you have any thoughts on math to do for a 3rd grader? I have looked into teaching textbooks, and I'm really close to trying it, but there are some negative reviews that I read about teaching textbooks that I'm not quite sold on it just yet. So I like the individual study aspect of it where I can hand it to her and she can go do it and I don't have to sit next to her. I like that about math. But, okay, I just have to share with you. Okay, I did Right Start Mathematics for her for starting in first grade, and we're still going through this book right now. And I'm sorry, it broke off, so it's not even the whole book, but this is the cover of it. If you haven't heard of Right Start Math, I highly recommend it. The only thing is, the lessons themselves are hard to gauge for daily lessons. I would love to be able to just have a book and just say, okay, we're gonna do this today, and then you stop, and this tomorrow, and then you stop. But with Right Start Math, the lessons are a little bit longer, so you have to break them up on your own. And it's really hard for me to do because it feels like I'm missing out on stuff if I'm not finishing one lesson in one day. But if we do one lesson in one day, it makes for a really long lesson. And that's been a little bit frustrating. I wish it was more broken up into, like, you do this today, you do this today, the next day, and not necessarily a lesson, just one lesson with a lot of parts to it. So because of that, I took a break from it for a while this year, and I went to math lessons for living education. And I looked up level 2, and she's doing this right now. And I was thinking of continuing on and doing level 3 next year. It is kind of Charlotte Mason style. It's got some stories written in it, but it's very workbook style, but they're short lessons. I like, see, look, exercise 1. This is one lesson. Do this one day. The next day, do this one. The next day, or here 3. This one's 2 pages. But like, they have it broken up into how much you do for the day, and I like, and then they have review at the end here. So I liked this book, but I also feel like it is a lot of busy work as well. But this is something where I can just tear out a page and hand it to her, and she goes and does it on her own. But it also, I feel like it is a lot of busy work. This one, we're doing lots of games. We're doing hands-on manipulatives with the abacus. She loves it. She can do addition in her head now with 2 and 3 digits, and that's all from doing the abacus. There's cards for games, and I guess we'll be learning fractions next year. But it's been really good. I think I might just go back to this. I might just suck it up and sit down with her for 15-20 minutes a day and do our math lesson, and then maybe supplement with a little bit of this if we have a day where I just need to hand her something and I get busy or whatnot, you know. So anyway, guys, that's my thought for math for next year. Maybe I'll do a video on review for Right Start Math compared to this. I'll do a whole video on that. So, all right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for those of you who have stuck with me through the whole video. What are your plans for your curriculum for your 2nd or 3rd grader for coming next year? Leave any comments below. If you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, you're welcome to subscribe and hit the subscribe button and see more videos where I post my reviews and my curriculum picks for homeschool and how to homeschool early elementary students. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.